Hello. This week we're looking at thankful prayer. We're looking at praying prayers of thank you to God. And we're looking at a prayer of thanks that Paul wrote to the church at Philippi. This is part of what he says. He says, "I thank my God every time I remember you. In all my prayers for all of you, I always pray with joy." Now, the strange thing about writing about a prayer of thankfulness and joy is that when Paul wrote this, he was actually in prison, waiting for a trial. Now, he hadn't done anything wrong. He was in prison because people didn't like him talking about Jesus. But still, in prison, under arrest, awaiting for other people to make decisions about his life, he's writing to his friends in the church at Philippi about prayers of thankfulness and joy. Paul knows that being thankful and thanking God and being filled with joy doesn't make things disappear, doesn't make difficult things go away, but it can really change our attitude and how we feel in our hearts and spirits. It's as if it allows God in more fully, allows his love into us more fully, allows him to flow through us and work through us. So, I thought I'm going to do an activity with you and then we're going to make something. So this activity is looking at how being miserable about things can make us feel far kind of heavier than feeling thankful about things. So you will need 3 rocks. Now these are the biggest rocks I can find in my house because yes, I do have rocks in my house. Actually, I have this one in my house. I like this one. This is something I collected from a holiday. This one I found in the front garden this morning, went out in the rain. And this one, beautifully decorated by one of my children when they were little, I think probably at church, and it's covered in glitter. Wonderful. This is now the bathroom doorstop, but it does mean when you push it out of the way with your bare foot to shut the door, you get glittery feet. That's quite exciting, isn't it? Okay, now I'm going to think of 3 things to be miserable about and complain about today. And then I'm going to pick up a rock. So the first thing I'm going to complain about is the rain. You can probably hear it pattering on the conservatory roof. In fact, this is probably not the best place to do a video recording because it's noisy. So I'm a bit fed up with the rain, and it means I can't go out and sit in somebody's garden and have coffee today because we just get wet. Bit fed up about that. Secondly, talking of friends, you know, I could have a good old moan about how I can't meet up with my friends the way I want to and the way I would like to. We can't go around to each other's houses. I'm sure for you it means you can't go and play at each other's houses. And that's pretty rubbish, isn't it? So that's not good. And third of all, do you know what? I'm quite tired and bored today. There's nothing that I really want to do. In fact, I think I've done all the fun things. And the only things left to do are the boring things. So, do you know what? I'm just going to feel a bit miserable, grumpy about that. And that is 3 quite heavy rocks that it's going to make me quite grumpy and miserable if I carry these around with me today. So let's change them. Let's put these rocks down. 1, 2, 3, and those things aren't going to change, but we're going to change the way we think about them. I'm going to be thankful about each of those things, and I'm going to hold a balloon for each one this time because they're a bit more buoyant. So first of all, it's raining today, and that is really good for ducks, I think, and wriggly wiggly worms. And snails like rain. If you ever go for a walk in the rain, there are so many snails and worms. And if you live near a river or a pond, ducks. And hopefully it will help the grass to grow in my garden, which has been chewed up by football and dogs. So that's good. And, you know, as my good friend always says, there's no such thing as the wrong weather. You just are wearing the wrong clothes. So maybe I should just put my waterproofs on, get my umbrella and my Wellington boots and go out and have a coffee anyway, in the rain, with my friends. Or friend. Why not? Okay, secondly, friends. I am so grateful that I've got friends. I love having friends. I love having people that just accept me as I am and put up with me and laugh at my not very funny jokes and are there for me when I feel a bit down, whether that's texting or calling or maybe even writing a letter. Thank you, God, for my friends. And finally, you know what? I'm really thankful that I've got somewhere warm and dry to be bored in. If I want to sit on the sofa and stare out of the window at the rain, at least I can do it in a warm, dry place. And maybe if I'm carrying these balloons today instead of rocks, maybe I won't find some of those jobs quite so boring. I might put on some music, either something fun or something that helps me worship God, and just have a go at tackling something I don't want to do. And these 3 balloons are lighter and they're just more fun and a bit more floaty. So let's encourage each other and ourselves to be thankful and to tell God our thankful things. Sometimes when things feel a little bit rubbish, I just sit there and think, well, do you know what? God, thank you that you're here with me. And thank you that I'm sitting in a nice warm room. And thank you that I've got something to eat later. And thank you for my friends. I'm going to finish with making a craft that will help me to praise and worship God when I put some praise music on. I'm going to make a shaker. Okay, so usually if we were doing this at Scramblers or Trekkers, we would probably use paper cups or something like that. I've run out of paper cups, not that I actually have loads at home anyway, but I'm going to use this little plastic tub. And I had to think about what I was going to put inside to make a noise. So what you put inside when you shake it, making a shaker, it affects the noise that it makes. So I thought about putting big pasta pieces in, and that would make a kind of shh, shh, shh noise. But I decided to put some little grains of rice in because it would make more of a shh noise. Gosh, those noises and the rain. I'm going to tip those in, a few, and do ask first before helping yourself to your family pasta or rice. You could use any sort of dried lentils or things like that, or you could just use bits of Lego or, I don't know, beads or anything you find lying around. So I've got my tub of rice and I'm going to cover it with a sheet of paper. Now, if you're feeling artistic, you could decorate your piece of paper with things that make you feel thankful. So you also need an elastic band or some sellotape, and you need to put, sorry, I keep doing it out of the way where you can't see, don't I? You put the paper over your shaker. Make sure the paper is nice and large, because you don't want to just cover the top and then have just a little bit of paper around the side. You want enough to wedge underneath your elastic band. There we go. Oh, I really hope this doesn't ping out everywhere. Okay, there. Ta-da! I have my shaker. Now, I'm going to see what sound it makes, and I'm going to shake it carefully because nobody wants rice all over their floor. Oh, I like that. Let's see if I can make a swish sound. Now actually, because it's quite a short tub, I think it's hitting the top and it's making a sort of drum sound. Brilliant. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remind myself, when I feel like I'm carrying a rock, I'm going to remind myself to think of something thankful, like a balloon. And I'm going to make sure that I thank God today for the things around me and spend some time worshipping. I've just realised it's leaking. I might have to get some sellotape out. Oh dear. I hope yours works a bit better than mine. Bye-bye.